This is a reply video to Paul Talk. Now, I made a video claiming that Boucher drew from nature and then used these drawings which he did from nature in his paintings. And Paul Talk claimed that Sir Joshua Reynolds said that he met Boucher and Boucher said no, he didn't paint from models, he just did it from his imagination. Now, what I'm going to expose is the danger of taking artists' anecdotes as history, and that Sir Joshua Reynolds was actually mocking Boucher. And this is the danger of taking things literally and then fitting them into your idea of creating this grand idea of true painting, which when it is examined is built on a house of cards. And so let's have a look at the quote from Reynolds and its context. Now, in this book called Rethinking Boucher, it explains how Joshua Reynolds was mocking the art of Boucher. He didn't like Boucher's art. He thought it was frivolous and not based on nature. He didn't think there was enough truth in it. And that is why he made up the story, okay? Or he embellished the story to put Boucher in a negative light. So let's have a look at the book, Rethinking Boucher. Let's read from it. Boucher's emphasis on the imaginative faculties was strong at the end of his career, as it was at the beginning, when he painted the landscape painter. Take, for instance, Sir Joshua Reynolds' remarks after visiting Boucher in his studio in 1768. I found him at work on a very large picture, without drawing or models of any kind. On my remarking this particular circumstance, he said when he was young studying his art, he found it necessary to use models, but he had left them off for many years. For Reynolds, Boucher's dismissal of the model was evidence of the French indifference to the truths of nature. The anecdote is thus mediated by Reynolds' own values, so it's difficult to say how much truth there is in it. But if the encounter did transpire in the way Reynolds has it, it would be one of the few known instances of Boucher speaking, if a bit tongue-in-cheek, about his own practice, verbally representing his artistic self. One can imagine that Boucher was having a little fun at the earnest Englishman's expense, for there are many indications that Boucher continued to draw after the model all his life. Certainly, Boucher makes clear that, for better or for worse, he wasn't after truths. He was after pleasing. So Reynolds, Boucher makes clear, for better and for worse, he wasn't after truths. He was after pleasing conceits called from his own fertile mind. He did then represent himself as a thinking subject, a bright one who painted with his high imagination, which is not the same thing as painting with one's unimagined. That is real emotions. So Reynolds was mocking Boucher. He thought was pretentious, and it was a conceit, a pleasing conceit, and that it wasn't truthful enough, and that it didn't have any real emotion. And that is why he told this story. It was a story to put Boucher in a negative light. And Boucher, as I have proved, and as has been proved in this book called Rethinking Boucher, which is written by experts, Boucher drew from models all his life. And Reynolds' anecdote, which Paul uses as justification for his ideas on Boucher, and then the establishment of his grand theory called the truthful painting, or true painting, is based on an anecdote which we don't know if it's actually true, and which it is Reynolds mocking Boucher. And that what we really know is that Boucher drew all his life from models. And the story was Reynolds putting down Boucher, portraying Boucher as someone who just painted from his imagination these pretty conceits, and there was no substance to his work, and no emotion. So that is the truth. And this, I have been hounded by idiots from Paul's channel, who read books on anecdotes which artists give, and they see them as facts. They're not facts, and this is the danger of using just these comments, which we don't even know if they're actually true or not, okay, and the context of them. Okay, thank you.